snakke senere dette her. Jeg gir bare ordet til Francisco Gomez Paz, vær så god.
Yes, I will try to speak with this. I feel a little bit ridiculous with this stuff, but here. Yes. I'm really happy to have this invitation to be here with you, and I was wondering what kind of presentation I can do in a situation of this, and I just will do the thing that I do, always try to speak about my job. That's what I most love in my life. And I will go a little bit further so you understand maybe more about my job, and then I will try to speak even about the process of development of hope, that is the chandelier that you have here in this space. We try to buy toys for kids that doesn't break toys, no? Unbreakable toys. And it was impossible, I always breaking it, even when I find a drill, I find a way to break the toys that were impossible to be broken. And I remember this episode in my life that maybe why it changed my life. That was, I remember this vapor motor that you see here that was in a shelf of my father, that he was an architect. And I remember I love this motor because my father showed to me they put water and alcohol and with a little bit of fire start to move on. And I imagine this thing moving, right? And I want to see this thing moving. But my father doesn't allow me to touch that thing because it was like something of his father. When I steal to him and I break a toy and I manage to mold something that's moved. And that day, I think my life changed because I realized what you feel when you imagine something and you manage to do what you imagine. So that strange feeling that maybe most of you feel when you are designing something is something so powerful, so strong, and that changed my life. I was born in the north of Argentina, in a very beautiful city that the name is Salta, but it's really far away from all other parts of the world, yes. It's 2,000 kilometers from Buenos Aires, and when I was 16, I decided to go to study design, industrial design, to another city, Córdoba. I moved there to study. When I finished my university studies, because I did it really fast, I was fascinated about this amazing profession. I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, doing this stuff that was design. It was like a dream. I finished that process, and I was wondering what to do of my life. And I was looking for going to do a master somewhere in the world, someplace in the world. And there was Pasadena, California. There was the Royal College of Art, and there was Domus Academy. And that day, I'm not that old, but that the internet wasn't the same thing that is today. So it was so difficult to have information. Imagine from there, from really far away, trying to get information what to do, where to go to do a master course. And I was lucky that this book came to my hand. That was the material of invention. That was an amazing book that speaking about technology in a point of view, in a different point of view, in a point of view that technology could become like a tool of creativity. It's not a tool to represent your ideas. It's something that maybe give you new ideas. And I was amazed about that book. This inspired me a lot. And in the back of this book, they said that Ezio Mancini was the director of Domus Academy. They said, okay, if Ezio Mancini is the director of Domus Academy, I want to go to that place to study. That's why I moved to Italy without knowing anything about Italy. My first time in Europe and so on.
Han er født i oktober 1975. Etter industrial design grad ved Universitetet Nacional di Córdoba flyttet han som sagt til Milano, der han tok master ved Domus Academy. Det er der han jobber også nå.
Beautiful persons, beautiful companies that somehow follow my madness in many things and in many ideas, and we are managing to do some kind of projects, getting fun with all the things that with my profession. What I do believe, really, because I really don't know what is design, but I have some beliefs, some things that make me focus sometimes, even when some clients appear to the studio. I really do believe that design is not to put lipsticks to gorilla. This is a different words, but they are so clear, because I think that design came from the essence of the things, not from the outside of the things. So I really think that you get more freedom when you're able to get from the definition of the problem, definition of what to do, has meaning to do something or not, really from the very beginning of the object, going to the external part of the object, not from the outside, from the inside. I really do believe that design is a holistic discipline. What does it mean? That, sorry, but here it's in Italian, but holistic discipline is, for me, is something that could not be explained by single parts. You cannot explain design through technology, you cannot explain design through philosophy, you cannot explain design through art, you cannot, but maybe all together can explain design. So in that terms, I really do believe that I always try to expand the frontiers of my own knowledge to become more freedom when I try to do something. So I'm really curious and interested in many other fields that are not only design, and all that fields always give me some small things, some more intuitions, some more small ideas that help when you are designing a project. The third statement, and the last one, is, for me, the design is a heuristic process. What does it mean? That I don't believe in that kind of design that you do in napkin, in the restaurant, and the geniality of the designer is able to arrive like the God spirit and appears there, and you print it in a stamp. I believe that design is a process where you can do a lot of mistakes, and you arrive to the process not from the beginning. The final idea never came from the beginning. With all these three things, you understand that it's difficult to work with companies, with some companies. You need to find some crazy companies that accept ideas, accept suggestions, and not drawing with the final resolution. So I'm lucky that in the years that I'm living in Italy, I find some companies that start to believe in me, and we start to understand each other and to work in some dreams from very, very, very beginning, and not from the end result. I will try to do a very roughly round out through some projects. You will see, even in this project, a process of growing of myself, I think, because of course the first project I started to do in Italy, the freedom that I used to have was much smaller, the credibility with the company was much smaller. So I think that it's a process of growing, a logical process of growing, but in each of those projects, maybe you will find out the same philosophy, the same way of thinking, that's for sure, but I think the biggest difference is the big understanding of the situation. As far as I think I'm trying to develop my career, I'm really worried about having a big understanding of what I'm doing. That is not only your object, right? I will start with one of my first object that I really liked, and it was something simple but has condensed many small ideas, and you will understand what I mean. I never start from shape, so I want to do magazine rack. A magazine rack is an object that holds magazine. Magazines are sometimes pieces of art. So I like magazines. I have some magazines that are beautiful, and I don't like to cover them and to not see them. So my first idea was to show that beauty and to use that beauty as part of my object. That was the idea. I don't have a shape, I don't have nothing was in my mind. So always my process of design is like a strange process of sculpturing with the intellect and with your hands, no? Because I like to do things with your hand. So I have some ideas that I didn't try, and I see, and I appreciate, I contemplate what I do, and I keep going this way, always taking decisions and so on. So I will move fast here, and then we'll go back. So here is always when something helps you, the idea. You don't know where the idea came, but sometimes you have an idea. Here the idea was this one. You have some cones. A cone, if you do a vertical section, the first vertical section is flat, the second vertical section is more like a V, the third more, and the last one is almost like a V. That made me understand that maybe a magazine, let's say a magazine, if you want to hold it, you bend it like this. So with that idea, when you put the magazine inside of the cone, you press it, you put just inside, and automatically will bend a little bit and will stay there like kind of magic, right? At the end, I will not go in details because today some complain because I was too slow. At the end is this kind of object with all the details solved, let's say technical details that I love to go on to, because I don't like to leave understanding to others. I like this phrase of Eames that say never leave understanding to others, no? So I really like to be in all the details of the thing, because that gives like a whole complete perception, I think, of the object. And here is okay, it's a simple object, but with a strong idea, with a shape that came like magic at the end. I never imagined this shape. This came like